Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Rabbit here, and we're playing something a little different. Yes, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Today will be Sultan Sanctuary. Specifically, a build that has been requested. Let's see. What is a good name for this? Let's go with Jenkins. Just because of the media that I happen to consume. Male, hair, doesn't matter. Now, what is Sultan Sanctuary? A lot of... fuck it. A lot of people would call this game a, Salt Souls, I guess? It's something of a 2D variant of Dark Souls, if anyone's familiar with that. And is... and is equally difficult, although with this particular game I find that the difficulty is about as hard as you make it. We're going to be going with a chef with a Ember Idol for giggles. The reason we're going with the chef is because it's one of the shit classes. Much like Dark Souls, there are multiple shit classes. In this particular instance, peasant and chef are your shit classes. There we go. There's heavy, there's light. It controls nothing like Dark Souls, however. Let's see. How's the roll? Is it B? No. That's how you swap weapons. And of course, this game is a little bit more cinematic than Dark Souls. You can perform finishers. You can, of course, perform finishers that just sort of take off the last little chunk of HP the enemy has. And yes, I'm playing like shit. You're not exactly meant to survive this particular area. Now, I need to learn how to roll... that's the button for it. Reason being... Hello, Cthulhu. Yeah, this guy kills you in one hit, and... it's very easy to get hit. So... hopefully you can hear me over the music. However, for this particular game, we shall be playing Jenkins. His main shtick is throwing things. And ranged weapons in general, because unfortunately I couldn't figure out a build that would actually just work off of entirely throwing weapons. And yes, this is taking a long time. There we go. That was taking a long time because that is effectively the, if anyone's familiar with Demon Souls, that is effectively the tutorial boss. And, you weren't exactly meant to beat it. That being said, we do have our friend here. Rather than... and I'm going to be comparing this game to Dark Souls a lot, just simply because it's the easiest point of comparison, really. Let's see, the Iron Ones, the 3, the Goddess of Light. Goddess of Light is good for early game. The 3, I forget what they're good for. Whereas the Iron Ones is good if you're a melee build. You can just pick that up here and never change what your Sanctuary is. The main comparison I'm going to be making is how this game handles its bonfires, or in this game, sanctuaries. I'm gonna go for the 3 just for giggles, really. I'm fairly sure the 3 is a trap option, it's not actually useful. And yes, it has been a while since I picked up the game. It's also been a while since I played anything anywhere remotely related to Dark Souls. So I'm not really managing stamina. But yes, this game handles its bonfires in a manner known as sanctuaries, and I am using a GameCube controller to play this just because it's easier. Come on. In that you claim the sanctuary, basically light the bonfire, and then you can perform a few options. You can level up, you can, upon leveling up, you gain a black pearl, and you get faced with this monster of a fucking skill tree, or skill web rather. Yeah, it's a lot more daunting than people expect, but well, it's a lot more daunting than it actually is. It looks a lot worse than it is, I should say. Now, you can also make an offering. Offerings are little statuettes that you place on the altar to gain, well, benefits. We'll get to those later whenever we actually get a statuette to offer to the altar. Which may be soon, maybe late. It's been so long since I played this game that I don't actually recall where everything is placed. I remember where the secret doors to things are placed. Yeah, archers in this game have really good aim. Sometimes it is better to just keep spamming a light attack. There's a ladder up there. These little messages in a bottle are basically orange soap signs. They give you are either messages left by the developers or messages left by the other players. I don't know how popular this game is in general, but I do know it's faced a bit of a lull in popularity. And if you think we're taking a lot of hits to kill these guys, it's because we are. The pan is basically the ladle from Dark Souls 2. It's not very good. Its main purpose is just being a very shitty weapon. I'm probably going to look at trading it out for something else. I personally am a big fan of spears in this game because, unlike in Dark Souls, they're not so much a noob trap. In fact, the noob trap for this game is actually... And yes, this is one of those enemies where it's better to just keep staggering him. Early on, you can get away with spamming. And for some enemies later on, it's kind of required. Just simply because of how much is actually, like, staggering them matters. And there's an instance later on I will display it, but these enemies wear no armor. And here's Jack. Goodbye, Jack. Jack's a friend of mine. Just a little shout out to him. You can see the bodies outside through that particular wall. Let's see if we can find any. Although I say you can get away with spamming, these enemies do actually recover a lot faster than you do. And that's probably why I'm getting hit so much. Alright, here's some stuff. Red pouch of salt. In this game, you do not have salt. You do not have salt. You do not have souls. You have salt. There is a difference. The main difference is just how it's stored. And lore-wise, salt is basically just souls, really. I want to get there. Ow. You do not want to get caught between two of these. that is one way to die really early on. And yeah, I'm fairly sure the 3 is just the shit option, so even harder, but it's fine. Ooh, throwing daggers. Alright. Go away, overlay. So, I'm going to do something stupid. I'm going to crunch all of my salt. Oh no, my potato. I can't go wasting potatoes. I like to have my inventory in a specific order. Just because... yeah, those guys can actually do a lot of damage and they can combo that pretty easily. With most other weapons, you will basically... you can kill these enemies in your full combo, but like I said, the pan is the shittiest weapon in the game. That's why one of the challenges is to use the pan for the entire game. Like, with pretty much any weapon, you can kill those guys in one hit. In this Fang is just a general item for a certain quest line. Don't worry about it. Yes, there are grinding quests in this game. They don't actually suck as much as you might think. If I get that... if I get back up... probably. There's a stone cleric. I'm not doing a prayer build, so... I don't know if I'm going to be doing the cleric. Yeah, like I said, I'm just doing a ranged weapon build, so... I will be using magic in this particular instance. I will be using... I want to pull him into the other zone. There we go. I will be using ranged weapons. I will be using ranged weapons and thrown weapons, just simply because... ow. I'm using ranged weapons and thrown weapons just simply because I have never played that build, and I had a vote a really long time ago amongst the few people that actually watch this currently. Your potatoes do damage. Not very much. But they do. So, you know, it's good for drawing in enemies. Hopefully you don't see that. I had to get an adapter for the... I had to get an adapter for the actual, like, screen that I'm using just because it's a really old screen and a really bad screen. So, for some games it displays a input invalid thing. And it just bounces around for some reason. I don't know if there's a way to turn that off. I really hope there is. Goodbye, Jack. Jack's going to be popping up a lot, at least in his earlier areas. And, let's see if I can get through this entire area. So, rings. Rings are fun. Much like in Dark Souls, you only get one version of rings. You don't get upgraded versions of rings, but they do each have unique effects in and of themselves. Let's see. This is a little mini shrine. You can pray at it, refill your shit, but you can't have NPCs. By the way, small tip, if you see these spears, that means don't jump off the fucking ledge, because that ledge will kill you. There are certain ledges, like in this instance, where it won't kill you. And we're going into the boss fight. Alright. Hopefully I can kill him with my granados. The Sodden Knight. He is a bit of a bitch. Not necessarily in the early phases, he's not so bad. Because he doesn't combo and whatnot. And the Granadas, later on he will actually like combo that into it and attack. See if I can get him at least down to half HP. If you're quick with the grenades, okay, that does no damage. I can technically beat him with the pan, but that's gonna take a while. And he will start doing combos after he jumps, and this is about, yeah, there it is. Yeah, like that. There we go. First death. Salt was stolen. Unfortunate. Mysterious Cleric will revive you and take some of your money. Your salt is separate from your money in this game, but a fair few items still use salt for things, rather than gold. And, yeah, I should have probably gone over more about this game. I kind of assumed that you guys know at least a little bit about the general gist of what's going on here. If you have any questions, please do leave them in the comments, and I will address them hopefully either in the comments or in the next video. However, for now, this has been Rabbit, and I wish you well. Have a good day. Bye.